Quarantine got me looking like hot garbage. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about in a little bit of time, so let's get into it, buddy. This is the first time using my video with a ring light, and why didn't nobody tell me I look so rough? Jesus, I look so greasy. It's probably because I got off my diet for a week, but we'll get into why I did that. So, this story of where I've been started like 6 months ago. I'm gonna post things and editing along with the story so you can see where all this stuff came from. So, in the beginning, everything was great. Everything was fine. As you can see, if you been following my work, I was getting my workout in. I was starting to do better, started to kill the machines in the gym and everything. So I thought everything was good. That sounds great, you know? Living my best life. Fuck sugar and all that other shit. You know how it is, but I feel like it all started, like, I got a really bad flu. And it took me out for like a week. And it just felt like a regular flu. But I noticed when I started going back to the gym, all of a sudden I couldn't lift as much as I used to. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Also, my appetite started to disappear. And I wasn't mad at that. I was like, okay, cool. I guess that's what happens when you don't got all that insulin clogging up your body or whatever. But another thing I noticed too was I started to get like hypoglycemic symptoms. So I would get kind of confused, dizzy, walk around weird. I would trip over myself, and also I used to become extremely hangry. Like I remember I told my brother that I literally was going to like stab somebody because the line was waiting too long when we used to go to lunch together. It was not good. So around this time, I was still working out and I was still doing videos with people, trying to, you know, help them out and everything like that. And I remember, like, but slowly, no matter how much I started to lift, no matter how much that I worked out, no matter how much I did, and I almost became like a narcissist at it, I started to like I started to like would be weaker, and I didn't understand why. So I would just try to push myself until my body was like, nah, cuz we're not doing it. So anyway, so I continued to try to push through, and then also too, I started to see more weakness in me when I did like the collaborative video with Aubrey. I forgot his name. I should have did more research for this. I'm doing this all on the top of my head, but I will post the link to his Instagram here, or here, or here. I'm really bad at editing. I'm new at this, so it is what it is. Hold on, am I blinking one eye more than the other? So, let's go over what's been happening to me so far. Lack of appetite. Muscle mass, whatever, muscle depletion. Energy starting to go. Okay. Oh, and is Bell's palsy coming back? Oh God, I'll talk about that later. So anyway, I start my new job and everything. Everything's going great. And then one day while I was in the office, I had like some really weird stomach pain, and I was like, okay, whatever that is. So I decided to go to the doctor. I go to the doctor, and this is the first time I go to the doctor in a really long time. So it was weird, very weird, because at this point, I did not know if I was no longer diabetic. I knew my blood sugar was below the hundreds, but I was still like, because honestly, I don't have that much confidence in myself. I can say all the kind of stuff, but I never got officially done. But it was very awkward because they automatically assumed that I wasn't taking care of myself. And it's probably because I look like the way I look. It's like, nah, I don't usually look like that. Quarantine has been mean to me. So they go about, I tell them what's going on, but before that, they were concerned about giving me the sugar test. If you don't know what the sugar test is if you have diabetes, it slowly eats you from the inside out. So they started like blowing stuff into my eyes, like, do you feel that? blow into my other eye. Do you feel that? Blow into the other eye. You sure you feel that? Blow into my other eye. You feel that? And then they decided to tickle my toes, which I just like, you feel that? I'm like, yeah. You feel that? Yeah. And then I started to talk to my doctor, and I tell her about the diet I'm on, high fat, low carb, whatever like that. She looks at me like I'm the craziest person in the world. And then she gets my test results back, and then she looks very confused. She doesn't understand. So I tell her, like, hey, something's going on with me. I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to lose energy. I'm starting to, and then that's another thing. Despite working out and doing everything as I was doing the entire time, I started to pick up weight drastically fast, like 10 pounds in like a month, with me going to the gym and dieting and doing everything. And the weird thing is, the weight went to like one place. It literally went to like my stomach region. Yeah, I'm a big guy. Like right here, just sits literally right here. So I told him, I'm like, hey, something's weird with me, something's going on, I'm sick. And they respond back, your vitals look better than I've ever seen anybody. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work, healthy guy. And I'm just sitting there looking like I want to die. Picture of health. I'm the picture of health. Oh, I actually forgot to mention why I actually was going to the doctor. It's because I was feeling like I was hypoglycemic, which actually, no, I didn't say that, but so I told him, I was like, hey, I feel like something's going on with my blood sugar. My blood sugar seems to be dropping too low. And their response back is, no, it's healthy. It's in a healthy rate. Bye. We got sick people to look after. And I'm like, I'm sure that I'm sick, but they looked at me like, you're wasting our time. So now my doctor thinks that I'm crazy and there's nothing wrong with me. So in the last 4 months, I was trying to manage social life, fitness life, because that is the only life, and office life, like working, because, you know, I got to eat. Yeah. Only time I knew that I was hungry is when I would get irritated, or I would get dizzy, or I would get confused. Like, it was really starting to affect my social life. It really was starting to affect everything. And I got to the point where, honestly, I didn't know if I was doing something wrong, or I was doing something unsafe, or I was doing something I was not supposed to. So I stopped posting as much. And this was really confusing to me, because I achieved my goal of finally becoming healthy, and finally, when it came to, they checked my liver, my gallbladder, my blood sugar, my cholesterol, my kidneys, everything. They say everything is running smooth as milk, I guess, water, rivers, smooth as, what's smooth? But yeah, so the doctors are saying I'm great and there's nothing wrong with me. I feel like utter garbage. And, you know, that's not really good for your mental, you know what I'm saying? So starting about 3 weeks ago, I ate something, and I ate like 2 pieces of bacon, and it made me feel like I ate an entire buffet. I was completely stuffed, and it got to the point where I literally would be bedridden. I couldn't even move. I've been struggling to try to get to the gym as much as possible, struggling to like walk around there's a famous football field around where I live. I was trying to struggle to do that, and like after I would eat just a little bit, I'm like, it ain't happening. Like, I would completely be knocked out, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm overeating. But at this point, I'm literally eating like 1 meal a day plus a coffee. So that ain't it, chief. Even now I'm burping and everything, and I never really actually burp. So that's very weird and very awkward. So if you hear me burping, that's because I'm sick. But anyway, what were we talking about? And then all of a sudden recently I started getting like a burning in my stomach, and it felt like literally there's a brick there. So I'm like, hey, my doctors aren't really helping me, so I'm about to like hit the hospital. Now I go to the hospital and I'm expecting to be a lot of corona down people, and I knew I was gonna catch corona, but I was like, sacrifices must be made. Anyway, I go there and it's almost like creepily empty. There's not that many people in the whole place. I mean, if I'm not saying for you to get sick, but if you get sick and you go to the hospital, it's the right time, homie. God, these bumps. So I go in, I tell them about my symptoms. They talk to me and they run my blood work and everything like that. I talk to them, they kind of don't listen to me. They're kind of like, oh, have this diabetes and high blood pressure. And I'm like, I don't have neither of those things. And they're like, sure, fatty, sure. So they come back and talk to me about my test results. They're saying, hey, it's going to take like an hour and a half for the test results to get back. But what we're going to do, because of the things that you're saying, we're going to give you an x-ray. And I was like, can I get an MRI? And they was like, no, we're going to give you an x-ray. And if we feel like giving you an MRI, then that's what you get. You get what you get. So they went ahead and did an x-ray. And it comes back with my blood work. Once again, wow, your blood work is perfect. Oh, it's this, and this. And I kind of get tired of hearing how good my blood work and how good my vitals and organs are, while I'm literally sitting there feeling like I'm about to die every day. That gets a little irritating over time, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not, I don't know. Because I'm just like, I pictured a picture of health not looking like, this. Does this look like health? See? I never thought I would be looking like this and have the best vitals of my life. Anyway, I digress. Why do people say why I digress? That's weird. So, I go. So he talks to me and he keeps on asking me, am I constipated? And I say, no, I go to the bathroom regularly. He's like, well, there's something in your stomach, but we're just going to go ahead and give you some pills for constipation because you're constipated. And I'm like, but I'm going to the bathroom like normally. He was like, no, you're constipated. So he gives me some laxative prescription for me to fill out, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not that simple, because at this point my muscles are getting smaller and my belly is getting bigger for no apparent reason at all. Another interesting thing about this situation is the fact that even though I'm on a ketogenic diet, my ketone levels are extremely low no matter how many macros I eat. I'm at the point where I'm literally just like eating meat and spinach and eggs. It's literally my entire diet. And I still can't get my ketone levels to up to 0.2. So it's another week goes by. Now I'm waking up feeling full. Now it's not even a thing where there's food in my stomach and I still feel like I've eaten an entire thing, and an entire meal. And at this point I'm like, hey, this is starting to get bad. Now I'm starting to feel like something's up at the top of my esophagus. And that's, I don't think that's ever a good thing. I've never thought of one time I've heard somebody say that was a good plan. That was a good meal. That was a good thing. So I was like, hey, time for me to take a trip to that old hospital again. So this time I go up to the hospital and I'm like, look, I want a MRI on my abdomen. I was like, I was here, you gave me laxatives, and they didn't do anything at all. I'm assuming they're still sitting on the top of my stomach. Like they didn't do anything. So they come, they do my blood work again, they test everything again. It's the same old thing. I'm like, oh, everything's fine. But then I told her about my symptoms. I told her about everything else that's happened to me. And then I finally get a name for something. They was like, you might have gastritis. It's like, what's gastritis? It's basically your stomach messed up. Your stomach has been beat down and beat all over, and it's messed up. So I was like, okay, cool. I have a name for it. So yeah, it's gastritis. So the question I always ask a doctor that I love the answer to, because always the same answer is, where does it come from, and why did I get it, and how to stop it in the future? And their response is always, fuck if I know. Basically, gastritis, gastrinomas, gassy boys. Apparently, gassy boys is any kind of stomach issue that deals with your digestive system. Then she pressed on my stomach and was like, oh, you're kind of bloated. And I never thought of it before, but all of that extra weight that I might have been getting right here in a very specific region of my stomach, this bad boy here, may actually be some kind of bloat. So there is something here. There's something in here that's slowly getting worse. And then I went to my doctor again, and I'm like, look, I need to talk to a gastroenterologist. Then they gave me, and then she finally talked to me, and they was like, guess what? We can give you a upper dectyloscopy. I'm going to put the name of what it is right there. On the 5th. And I was like, great. I was like, can't wait. That's only like 2 weeks away. Finally, this nightmare will be over. And then she said, October 5th. Yay! And I'm like, oh, so I got to deal with this for a month from now. I'm already getting worse and worse symptoms, and I just have to sit here and take it with no lubricant. So that's what's been going on with me. Now you might be asking, why have I been so quiet about all of this? Why have I froze up pretty much everything? And the honest answer was because like I said, it was mentally taking a toll on me. I felt like I was failing. I felt like I was crazy because I keep talking to these doctors, and every time I talk to these raggedy doctors, they say that everything is fine when I'm telling them that nothing is fine. So hopefully by October, I'm going to find out what's going on. However, I do not want to stop now. Like, that's what I hate about like influencers on Instagram and people that's trying to sell you their raggedy fit tees, is the fact that they'll always put like a before and after pic, but they never show the middle. They never show the problems and the struggles that people have. And I really want to help people do this when I do it for myself. So I'm going to start posting like everything is about to get real. But also besides that, we're gonna have fun. This is gonna be a fun time. I'm gonna try to post as much as possible. Another thing I'm gonna start doing, because maybe people can point out things in my diet, I'm gonna start posting everything like every other Instagrammer that I hate when they take pictures of their stupid food. But I'm doing it for scientific purposes. So welcome to my life. Maybe next time you see me, I should not look like I have people in my basement that was murdered. Did anybody see that? That was weird, right? Because I didn't even see it. I only seen it in the light. Anyway. So yeah, so this is officially the new relaunch of John Downs the Pound's Instagram and YouTube. So stay tuned so we can have some fun. Jesus, I look so greasy, but it is what it is. I'm only human. I'm only a man. Take me as I am, or don't take me at all, boo.